Dreams can make you cry, dreams can make you laugh.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Also a quick note before I get into the video, if you're confused why it's winter on the set, it's because I already had a video set up that I was working on and I didn't really want to completely change the set right now, so this is what we're working with. In today's video, I'm going to be going over all of my tips and tricks that I use when I am making videos. These tips should apply to most YouTubers, but I am looking at this from the perspective of a My Little Pony YouTuber, so just keep that in mind. Also, let me know if you would like to see a separate video about creating a plot, because I know that was something I personally struggled with up until the point of creating the last Pegasus. I was really bad at making plots, especially for series. So if you want to see a video about how I did that and what my process was, then let me know in the comments below, because I would love to make a video on that as well. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the tips and tricks that I use when I make my videos. The first thing to remember when creating a video is that lighting is very important. Professional lighting setups can be expensive, but you don't need a fancy setup to create good content. Natural lighting, such as filming near an open window, can vastly improve video quality. This is personally what I usually do, or what I did up until a few days ago when I got some other lights that I will show you in a minute. That being said, filming near an open window isn't usually easy. Using the flash on the camera is a good substitute as well. You can also set up small battery-powered lights around your set so you can control where shadows are. That's actually what I'm doing right now. I am using these lights that my grandma gave me, and it's really nice to just kind of control where the shadows are. But I've only been using these for a couple days, so it definitely isn't necessary to make videos, but lights like this do really help, and they're battery-powered, so I don't have to plug them in or anything. Also, one last note, when using battery-powered lights, make sure that you have cooler toned lights instead of warmer toned lights. If you have lights that are more yellow toned, your video will look more yellowy, I guess, and less natural. If you have lights that are cooler toned, like the ones that I'm using, it'll look brighter and just a little nicer in my opinion. It's also helpful to learn how to use your camera or phone's exposure. I didn't know how to use exposure for a really long time, and I'm still not great at it, but it does help make your videos look nicer if you know how to use it properly. A good set can help set the scene in a video. Personally, I struggle with making sets that I'm happy with, but here are a few tips that I have found helpful. One thing to remember is it only matters how the set looks on camera. I've had sets that look very, very strange in real life, but they look perfect on camera. Another thing to remember is dimension. Making a set in a corner, like the one that I'm using right now, can make a set feel less flat. Or setting out multiple sides of a set. Maybe you have 3 walls instead of just one backdrop. This is really helpful in skits and things, so your characters can move around what's basically a room instead of just moving around a wall. I build sets in 3 stages. The first stage is the main set, which includes my colored craft paper or background paper and the large set pieces. Then I add the objects the character will interact with, such as a couch or large kitchen areas or beds. Lastly, I add smaller accessories to make the set feel more realistic. This can be things such as food on the table or just little knickknacks around the room. If you look around your house and see, all the little things you have laying around your house, those are important things to remember to add when building a set. When building outdoor sets, I also have some fake snow, like the stuff you see in my set now, and dried moss, and the little rock pebbles that you can also see in my set. You can get all of these from dollar stores or craft stores, and they are definitely helpful if you're building outdoor sets. Something that also plays a big factor in set building is the angle you film at. You need to make sure you include multiple angles of your characters, especially in skits, to create more visual interest. It also helps to make sets feel more realistic and less flat. If you don't have somewhere to make videos, I suggest designating a table or section of your room to filming. That way you don't have to clean up sets halfway through filming. I know personally, rebuilding sets to be exactly how they were in the last shot is really difficult. So simply having a space to leave up sets is really helpful. My next tip is to plan videos ahead of time. As hard as it might be, video planning is actually really important. Not everyone chooses to stick to an uploading schedule, and that's fine, but planning what videos you want to make next is really important. I suggest making a list of all video ideas you have and adding to it as you get more ideas. I personally like to pre-plan videos by typing them onto my phone's calendar. I schedule what video I will upload and when. When I get an idea, I add it to the calendar. Usually I plan about a month ahead, but sometimes it varies depending on how many videos I'm making. Another important thing to know is that scrapping videos isn't a bad thing. While you don't want to make a habit of it, sometimes deleting a video that you're not happy with is important. If you're working on a video and find that you aren't enjoying it, then just delete it and start over. If you still don't like it after starting over, then just make a different video. Not all the ideas you're going to have end up being videos, and that's fine. Editing is the most important part of a video, and to explain what I mean, I'm going to show you a short clip I filmed before and after editing it. A big part of editing is practice. You need to learn what you do and don't like about the editing of other people's videos and apply that to your own videos. Only keep the important part of a video. You don't need to keep every word that is said. You also need to make sure that you are keeping the attention of your viewers. Watch back every video once you think you're done editing it. What do you need to change to make it more interesting? Is the video pacing good, and is it entertaining? Or does it feel like it just keeps dragging on? These are important things to think about when editing. You also need to make sure that you have a good editing software. I personally switch between editing with KineMaster and Capcut depending on what the video is and what I need to do to it. I'm still learning how to edit in a way that I'm completely happy with, but as of right now, here's the basic process that I use. The first step in my editing process is cutting out empty or dead space. I also cut out bloopers and unnecessary content in this stage. This is potentially the longest and most annoying part of editing a video. If my video needs additional voice acting or voiceover that I didn't add while filming, I'll add that in this first stage of editing, as well as making sure my voice acting fits my video clips. In the second stage of editing, I rewatch the rough draft of my video. I add zooming and panning to the video in this stage. I zoom in on a character if they're talking. If the video seems boring, I add a zoom or pan effect to create visual interest. I'll also cut out any sections of the video that I missed during the first stage of editing. The third stage of editing is probably my favorite part. In this stage, I add sound effects, overlays, and special effects where they're needed. This is the part of editing where your video should get interesting. First, I add my special effects. Examples of special effects that I use include snow, rain, magic effects, fire, etc. Once my effects are added, I add sound effects to match them. Rain sounds, fire sounds, bird sounds, doors opening and closing, and so on. Any sounds that I think would make the video seem more realistic. The final step of editing is adding music, but I think music alone needs its own section. It's imperative to carefully consider audio when making a video. Good music choices can change the entire atmosphere of a scene. You can change a video from being funny to being magical and fantastical with just a simple switch of music. Music can make the videos feel excited, nervous, scared, or even sad. When editing a video, consider the feel that you want your video to have. Once you know what you want your audience to feel, then search for the perfect music track. If your clip is supposed to be outside, then add bird sound effects. If you're worried about getting copyright issues on videos, this is the section for you. It is very important not to use music that will get copyrighted, as you will get restrictions placed on your video and maybe even your entire channel. So how do you avoid copyright issues? Well, it's actually really simple. Use music from sites that promise not to have copyright issues. You may have to do some research for this, but I personally use YouTube's official audio library. It's easy to search for music tracks and sound effects here, as there are many filter options and the audio is completely copyright-free. I suggest looking up some videos on how to use YouTube's audio library though before you'd use it, because it can be a little complicated and some videos do need attributes and things typed out in your description. Anyway, those are all of the tips that I have for you today. If you have any more tips or tricks for making YouTube videos, then please let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful in any way at all, please leave a like on this video, as it took me a really long time to make it. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye everyone!